whenever we see a very strong supporting lifeline, it basically means that the person would get some kind of a moral, physical, or financial support throughout their life. This line has got another meaning, that is that these people, it is starting from the mount of Mars. Mars is a area of aggression and fire, and whenever we see a strong line of Mars, it indicates that the person is going to be a fighter. These people basically uh, uh, can fight against odds, and whenever somebody comes to the opposition, uh, they give the best fight, and they do not basically lose in their life. So this line is one of the best lines you have got on your palm. This line is much more prominent in the left hand compared to the right hand, but yet because it's present on the left hand, it has its significance. This is the lifeline, and on the lifeline in the initial part we see island-like formation. This is the early age. Whenever we see island-like formation on the lifeline, it might indicate that probably the health might not be very good. And these small islands are also seen on the headline, so some amount of mental worries and all. Uh, in the left hand, these islands remain for a shorter duration of time, probably till only the age of 17 or 18. But in the right hand, it remains for a longer duration of time. So even if we see these islands, and at the same time a person has got a strong lifeline, basically it would mean that no ill effect would come to this particular person as far as health goes, or any other area of life goes. And as the line is starting on the mount of Mars, it basically signifies that the person would get help from male members, and specifically male members inside the family. This is one aspect. We then see this is the lifetime. There's a few upward lines. These are the lines of luck in the person's life, approximately at the age of 34 to 39. That's the approximate age, and there's a big gap between the uh, between the life between the lifeline and the headline. It basically means that the person is rash by nature, the person is very outgoing, and the person might first act and then think. They are so fast, and the heart line is starting with a curvature. Whenever the heart line is starting with a curvature, it means that the person is passionate and the person displays their emotions, and the person is very expressive. They can't keep their emotions in check. The curvature in the heart line means that, and the starting point of the heart line is under the mount of Saturn. This is the mount of Saturn. Mount of Saturn is basically means how good we manage our money. So whenever it starts under the mount of Saturn, the person basically manages their money very well, and these people are highly responsible towards whomever they care about, and they know the importance of money, so they keep money well. One part is that. On the left hand itself, there's one more aspect we are seeing. This I'm showing you the line of fate. If you see the line of fate, it starts and kind of ends on the headline. This is the headline, so it ends somewhere there, and a new line is developing. And this new line, when it touches the headline, the age is basically 35. So the break comes somewhere at the age of probably 34. That's the age when the break comes, and a new line basically develops. So new line is very strong and good. So much more stability comes to this particular person sometime after the age of 35. This is one aspect regarding these the sun line, we see the sun line, very good sun line on the mount of sun. It is quite strong, and there is not one but two lines. One should have prominent kind of lines, what we see out here, but we see some dull lines out here. Dull lines are the period of basically doubt, and it starts somewhere at the age of 35 and remains till the age of 53. But beyond that, the line is extremely good, and when it goes inside between the third and the fourth finger, it means ancestral wealth. So one aspect is that the line that is coming from the mount of Mars, this is the outer positive Mars. So this area basically gives coolness and calmness. So if the sun line develops from the mount of Mars and goes like this, so probably they would be known for coolness and calmness, and that's why they get their name and fame. One aspect is that. Another important aspect in the palm is that this is the finger of Mercury. Finger of Mercury basically indicates our communication abilities, our communication, technical abilities, and business skills. And we find, it appears to me that it appears to be short. By short finger, we basically mean that the finger is not touching this particular line. This is the benchmark, this is the sun finger, and this is the Mercury finger. So if the Mercury finger stays short somewhere and there's a marked gap, like it is quite short, it is considered to be short. So this finger is indicating technical skills, communication skills, and business skills. And if it is short, it basically signifies that probably this area is weak. But many people have come to me, and I have seen that people who are doing PhD or people who are making good money also have a short finger of Mercury. One very big example of a person having a very short Mercury finger is Pranav Mukherjee. And in spite of having a short finger, people do make huge amount of gains. So, but they have to make this area from weak to strength, and if they realize that the importance of this particular area, they work upon it, they would basically negate the negative qualities that come with the short finger of Mercury. This finger also signifies one more thing, that they might be able to communicate with everybody, but when it concerns the most important people in their life, somewhere they fall short. And this area, they need to be more more concentrate towards personal relationship. They should basically give more time and energy to it, and do not leave it at granted that all things are going to be okay. So so this area they need to work upon. Now we see the right hand, and right hand is quite similar to the left hand. We see a big gap between the life and the headline. This is a very similar thing. There is also a curvature on the heart line. Again, this similar thing. A strong sun line we see, and it's going between the third and the fourth finger. Similar signs we are seeing. In this hand, what we are seeing is these island-like formations which are there. This is the money line, this is the headline, and this is the heart line. So I'll just draw once more these island-like formations on the headline. These island-like formations are somewhere at the age of, let's say, 30 to 35. So what happens is, when a person has got an island-like formation, it means like a line is coming like this, and there's an island-like formation. So what happens is that there's a thought process which is coming, and it splits into two. Whenever it splits into two, two thought process develop at that particular time. At the start, there's not a big gap between between these two lines, but as you reach this particular portion, the gap widens, and that's when basically there's lots of confusion or like mental trouble. It could be headache, or it could be stomach problem leading to like head problem, or the head problem leading to the stomach problem. It's not too prominent. I wouldn't say it's too prominent, but it's there. And as the person goes on in life, these islands basically are not there after, like it's between out here, but out here you don't see any islands. So this is a period from here to here. The period is between 35 till the end of life. So so much more clarity basically comes sometime after the age of 35. Regarding the fate line, what we are seeing is the fate line is starting on the Mount of Moon. Mount of Moon is basically benefits coming out to this particular person from trading activities, service industry, or help from father or brother, or maybe even husband, or any male member or any foreigner. All these people are going to like benefit you, and what we see that in the initial, the line is not so clear. There's kind of a wave-like formation. Wave-like formation in the line is not considered to be the best. Any line should be deep and clear, like what we see out here from the period 35 to 53. It's very good, but these wave-like formation basically sometimes the results are going to be very good and sometimes not so good. So one aspect is that. The other aspect is that it appears that the line is coming from the Mount of Moon and touching the main fate line. So this point basically becomes very significant, and this point could mean the point of marriage. As this point is quite near to the intersection of the head and the money line, so this period is 35, so probably this area could be 30. I checked out your date of birth and found that probably the 28th year could be very important, or 2022. If it's 2022, 022 minus 1992 comes to 30th year. So probably this could be 30th. So there would be far-reaching changes in your life, changes in all aspects of your life. It could be family life, work life, finance-wise, place-wise. So many changes might take place, and the age 28th year is also going to be important from your birthday in 2019 to 1911 2022, that whole 1 year. But these lines are not so good as what we see the lines after the age of 35. As far as the health goes, you should basically take more care about it. These are island-like formations out here. Line is not so clear, but you do have a very strong supporting lifeline. So again, a good aspect. One aspect, this is very good. The other aspect is the headline is kind of originating from the Mount of Jupiter. Jupiter is basically for high position, power, and administration, religion. All these areas are positive areas for you. It would bring gains to you, and people who are close to power probably have the headline kind of originating from the Mount of Jupiter. So this could be one indication. This is also the area of education, so probably the headline, if it is originating on the Mount of Jupiter, probably gains through education as well. For education, we also see the finger of Mercury. This area should be very well developed. Even if it's not, as I've told you, even if it's short, probably still the person might gain. And if you have any other further questions, so you can write back, or you can write back. And to towards the end, if we see that the headline towards the end, there's a split kind of a formation. This basically split might mean a person is a genius. And what I've told you regarding the sun line basically we see this line is perfect, and one should have a perfect sun line if on this particular area, if it's good out here, so probably it covers the whole period of our life. But if we have these weak kind of lines are basically lines of doubt. So I think you should shun these doubts if there are any, and the good sunline probably means success. And that's it for this particular reading. And some people say that if a person has got a fish-like formation, it is considered to be good on the mount, any mount, and specifically on the mount of Saturn. This is the area of money, but I don't consider it to be much. Last aspect, the only aspect I would deal is the heart line. Heart line has got few branches over it. Branches over the heart line might mean that the person is losing focus. It's always better to have a very distinct kind of a heart line, very deep and clear, not broad kind of a line, but distinct and clear. Distinct and clear basically means that the person is practicing detachment, and the person, detachment, what Gita says, like being in the moment without having expectation of the outcome, and the focus is very much intact. A line which is not so perfect might mean the person is losing out on focus a little bit. And thank you for watching, and do let me know when to delete this video.